And hi again, everyone, and welcome to Sports Talk on CPHS Channel 6. I'm Ken Pillarge. Joining us today is Port Huron's track coaches, the boys Lowell Speece and Kurt Baker, the girls coach. Gentlemen, welcome to Sports Talk.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the season, how it went. Talking with Lowell a little earlier, mentioned you had a very young team this year.
Right, I have 3 seniors back with any experience and 4 juniors. And out of 55, most of them are still learning. They're just coming into knowing what should be done and so forth.
Kurt, how about you?
I had a similar situation. I had 6 seniors and 7 juniors, but a couple of the juniors didn't run the year before, so we were predominantly freshmen and sophomores as well.
So how'd that work out for you? How did the year go with such young teams?
Well, I thought that the girls had a good year. We won our first 4 dual meets, and you know, we had some questions coming in, which you always do, and some of them were answered, and so we were okay in some areas, and there were some weaknesses, which we tried to do the best we could. But, you know, if they all come back, we'll have a good nucleus for the future years.
Lowell, how about you?
I had a lot of surprises, quite a few freshmen running on the varsity for the first time, scoring a lot of points, getting a lot of confidence, and really working hard and showing up some of the underclassmen that are kind of bagging it and not working too hard in practice. So it's been a good experience and looks good for next year.
Hey, Lowell, you mentioned you had some surprises. Let's talk a little bit about those surprises. Who stepped up and surprised you this year?
We have a sophomore, Charles Muntz, who has gone 11 feet in the pole vault twice now. And last year, I don't know, he wasn't much over 9 feet. And so he's really thrilled with his high wire act. And so that's been good. Brian McHugh has been running real well in the distance events. Javon Faulkner running well in the sprints, and about our number 2 long jumper. So those 2 probably are our biggest surprises.
Kurt, how about you? Who stepped up and surprised you this year?
Among the freshmen, a sprinter named Kelly McMahon came on. She was one of the legs in our 800-meter relay team. She scored consistently for us, and by the end of the year was running number 3 in the 200-meter sprint. Jenny Brown did a nice job all year long as a hurdler and a high jumper. And there's some other young, some sophomores who did a good job that came in. Letitia Parker comes to mind. And of course, now I can't think of the other kids. Let's see, Jenny Coos did a good job. She's a sophomore. I have a group of sophomore middle distance runners led by Jenny, and Heather Marks is in that group, and Heather Joseph, who all had nice seasons, and you know, they're going to be back for 2 more years.
You mentioned the season's over. How did the records go for both you and Lowell this season?
We both had identical. We won our first 4, and then when the weather got warm, we lost the last 2.
Speaking of the weather, how things go? Obviously, you haven't had a great spring in the area, so how'd the teams handle the adversities with the weather?
It's a little difficult for the first year kids, the freshmen and sophomores who were out for the first time. Some of the practices, they didn't know whether they wanted to come out or not, or if they were dressed well enough. And we had 2 meets where we had sleet and snow, very high winds, and it was really challenging. And I was impressed with the fact that they all did a good job and stood out there.
Kind of hard running in the old leggings and snowsuits, I imagine.
Quite windy at times, too.
Yeah. Okay, guys, both moving on now to regionals. What's your plans and outlooks for the regionals?
I think for us, we have a good set of shot putters who may qualify. When I look at the regional rankings, we don't have anyone in the top 3 or 4, but they've all thrown close to additional qualifier length. Okay. So if they have good days, any of the 3 could go, and that would be Stephanie Brabson, Rochella Price, and Letitia Parker. Okay. So any of those 3 could make it. I'm hopeful that one of the relay teams, either the 400 or 800-meter relay team, will get there. Both those teams have been among the best in the area, and they're both ranked 3rd in the region, and the top 2 regional teams will go. So, you know, hopefully one of those situations will work out so we can get some people at the state meet through one of those events. Good.
Lowell, how about your team?
I have a long jumper that could qualify. However, D'Angelo Sanderson injured his knee at Marysville a week ago, and I don't know if he can jump. He isn't able to jump this week, and so it's questionable. Several distance runners, Jason Wilkins, Ian McMorrin, they possibly could make qualifying standards, but we're ranked down probably in the second 5 of the top 10 in most of the events. So it's going to be a real struggle to get out of the regional.
Okay, now both of you mentioned you had the identical 4-4 records. Both had young teams.
4-2.
Or 4-2, excuse me.
Don't make it worse than it is.
Now, next year should be a whole different situation for you. You both mentioned great nucleuses coming back. Next year could be all new ball game for you.
Well, we have a problem from the fact that we're in the MAC, Macomb Area Conference, and every year practically they realign us. So we have no idea who we're going to be running against. We could be up in the red division, we could be in the white division. So we don't know until the realignment takes place really what to anticipate, other than knowing what athletes we'll have back.
Let's talk a little bit about a meet that you just had at Port Huron. Not probably the way you wanted it to go, but why don't we talk a little bit about that? Kurt?
Well, the Port Huron Northern has a tremendous group of middle and long distance runners on the girls' side, and it's almost the opposite for the boys. Our boys have better distance runners, but so going in, I felt that we would do well in the sprints and in the short relays, and we needed to somehow sneak some points out in the middle distance and long distance runs, and that just didn't happen. You know, our girls ran hard, and they ran times comparable to what they'd been doing all spring, but Coach Nesbitt was able to move some people around, and he just had too many good athletes, so we fell short. I think that if you look at it, probably the telling tale of the meet was the fact that in 3 events, the 3,200-meter run, the 1,600-meter run, and the 800-meter run, we were outscored 23-1.
Okay.
So that's the meet right there.
Yeah, that's hard to come back. Aloha, how'd you do yesterday?
We had a problem with the field events. Northern has excellent field event people, and Eagle and Dana and Ken Nelson, the sprinter, and so basically, as Kurt said, our strength is in our middle and long distance, but we made some good efforts, but we got nosed out in the hurdles, in the 110 hurdles. However, we did have some close finishes and did well on the 800. They had one individual that was running well there. So overall, I was pleased. Most of our fellows did PRs for the season yesterday, but we couldn't cope with the speed. We're very short on sprinters this year. Most of our sprinters are 9th and 10th graders, and they just aren't mature enough to hold the full length of the race.
Well, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Sports Talk. I'd like to thank Lowell Spees and Kurt Baker for stopping by and talking track with us. Till next time, I'm Ken Plarge. Thanks for watching.